things that Edge has, 3 features that allow you to kind of control and manipulate your tabs in Microsoft Edge. Some of them are pretty good. Some of them are pretty okay. I say some. There's not that many. There's 3 that I'm aware of. So I'm going to go over the 3. There's tab groups, there's collections, and then there's this new thing that they have called Workspaces. And I say new because it's a feature that they recently put in as of sometime here, I think in October, November, that allows you to utilize tab groups a little bit different from the other 2. So tab groups are essentially a way to take a bunch of things that you like and that you want to categorize. Like I use it for D&D. I use it often for D&D, but also there are other reasons you might want to use it. Say, for example, I might put one up for when I'm working on my YouTube videos, and I might have or my Twitch videos, or maybe all of them. I'll put them all up together, and I might go through and look at them all at once, and I can load up all the pages at one time. The way you do that is you can take any number of your pages, and you can select a bunch of them, and then when you right-click on here, you can say, move all your tabs to a new workspace, or add tabs to a new group. And we'll start with a group. This is a new group. All right, so what this is now you can ungroup them, close them. This is just a way to make them easier. So now what happens is if you go over here and click on this group, it'll compress them down into a simple little grouping. It is not saved. If I close this window right now, that group goes away and you'll have to redo it. So this is one drawback to just generic tab groups. What you can do with those is like when you're just working it throughout the day, maybe you're working on maybe some marketing stuff, maybe you're working on, or maybe you're doing a D&D campaign for today and you're loading up a few pages that you're going to need for the show, for the day. Only drawback is it won't save. So you can accidentally close your window, bam, you lose all your groups. Not necessarily great. It's good for short-term groupings if you're just trying to keep things from getting too cluttered up in front of you. Another option you have is collections. And collections are this little tab, this little icon you can see over in the corner, which my image here is in the way, so let's get that fixed. I'll put this down here because that's all that matters. Okay, so over here in the upper right hand corner you see this little collections tab, and what that lets you to do is put a bunch of stuff here. So these are a bunch of collections I've had. It used to be, now I'm going to say right now, is this wasn't always set up this way. It used to be that you could take a bunch of things and just add them to a collection. See, there's no more add to collection, no more anything like that. You can't even take this and say save as collection. It's changed. They kind of rearranged how they're going to do this. As a drawback, now there's not really an easy way to add a group of tabs. Like if I was to open up several of these items in a new tab and then go and try to select them all, which you can do just by hitting select one and then hit shift and select the last one. Now all of these are selected, but if you right click on them, once again, there's no way to add these to a collection. So you can't save these any particularly good way using collections or just even the tab groups. You can do something like add them all to your favorites, which is a whole nother thing. It's just adding them into your folders. Like you see here, I have a set of these pages, which to be honest is basically collections. You add them to a new folder. You can put your folder up on this top tab, and essentially you've got a collection of links and places you can go. So collections are this other thing. I'm not exactly sure how it differentiates itself from. The biggest thing that it does is it gives you this side view, this little pop-out view for your collections. It connects to this tab here, which isn't much different than the favorites button right here, right? So I mean, you click on this and there's all your favorites, which is essentially your collections, right? This doesn't show up in this right view. So, take it or leave it for what it is. The problem is collections have kind of lost their space, I think, because it used to be that you can add things to a collection. You cannot do that anymore. So what you can do is go on this little tab if you have a collection, and you can open everything in your collection all at once. You can say open all these in a new window or in new tabs or whatever. So you can take all these items. It's kind of like having your groups, and you want to move them. If you want to open them all up all at once, you kind of have all your set stuff. You kind of save them into a collection. But again, there's no drag and drop. There's no way to take these items and just put them in a collection. It doesn't work that way. You drag them, they're going to go, it's just like you see there, it drags off this whole thing. So you can drag, by the way, there's one option you can do as well. You can take a group of tabs and you can drag them into the group that you have. See, if the little blue bar or the little color bar appears above your thing, it's now inside of that group. So now that when I close this, once again, all of those are now added to it. So it's kind of a nice feature. But again, I'll get to that a little bit more later. Now, if you go here, you can add the current page. So that's a way you can add to collections, but unfortunately, it only adds that one page, even if you select multiple pages. So if I select like all of these and go here, add current page. It's only the top page going to get added. It doesn't add what you've got selected. It doesn't do anything of that nature. So it's one page at a time. So it's kind of difficult to build them. You can't drag and drop. You can't say, hey, I want all these things to be going into a collection. You can't do that. There's no real easy way to do that. Additionally, there's no easy way to update a collection. Say, for example, I go here and I want to open all this up and I say open all in new tabs. I'll say in a new window. Okay, so now it opens up all those pages for me that are related to that, which, by the way, I apparently don't have very many. Let's pick a different one. Let's do this one. Open all in new window. Okay, so this is like D&D night. Next D&D session is what I do because I'm a DM for a game with some family and friends. And so what we have here is a bunch of the D&D pages I use for it has the scenario and all of the the campaign that I'm working on, as well as a couple other things. It opens up this D&D name generator and all that stuff. But however, if I want to change this, see, we've long since gone past this page. We've long since gone past this page. But if I update these pages, I say I want to go to here and say, okay, well, we're not there no more. We're way over in, we're over here now. Okay, so now I want to save this where we're currently at. No, you can't do that. There's no way to update this group. There's no way to update it, no way to save it. So again, there's your flaw in collections. Collections they're really not updatable, not easily. You can go add that page and delete the other page because when you're in a collection, you can click on it and it'll expand all the items in the page, but all you can do there is remove them. You can add a note to the item. I don't know what that's going to do, but overall, it's not that useful. It's just how would I utilize that? You can copy it, create it, you can do tweaks to it, but you can't change the page or update the page. You have to delete the page, add another page. Add the current page or whatever, just to kind of get it updated. It's a lot of work. So now I've actually added one extra that I spoke about favorites, but most people at this point know what favorites are. They've been in part of Edge and Microsoft's all the different bookmarks or whatever that Chrome and other applications use. The browsers have had that for ages, so this is all things that are new, and it's not much different from collections other than it pops up over here. And there's no way to easily add a set of stuff to it, which kind of makes it hard to use. And you can't save items to it. You can't create a new one from what you have. So bookmarks and collections are kind of distinctly different. And collections and favorites are very little different, other than you get this little side pop out for collections, and it's a lot harder to add to them. So that brings us to the third and final item. Now this is new to Microsoft Edge, I believe. There may be something similar in other browsers. I don't spend a lot of time in other browsers. But this is called Workspaces. Workspaces are what I think they wanted collections to be at one time, but because I think some of these functionalities were there, if I remember correctly. But now you've got a separate thing for them. And to be honest, they're the best. They're the most complete iteration of what you want, and it's kind of nice. It kind of gives you a separate setup. I'm going to show you what that is. That's this up here in the left corner. You see this Workspaces. Now, I've only added one because I've just recently started to kind of play with it and realized this is really nice. Okay, so a couple of options. You can delete it and edit it, but if you click on this, it's going to open up. This is this is not related to anything. This is just like a, oh, it's because I gave it a thumbs up and it wants me to give information. Okay, so these are new, so they're still collecting stuff. I don't know. So I don't know why they're still collecting information on them, I guess. But so if you click on it, here you go. This opens it up into, so it's basically a D&D. It's my old school amusement. It's the same one you see over there. Difference is when you make changes here, you can actually invite people to use this. Say, for example, you want to invite friends to be able to look at the same thing. You kind of collaborate on these things. So you invite somebody to come and look at this. Now, I don't know if that's, so when this pops up, you just type in the email address. It'll send an email to them, and you can save these, basically give them these links too. There's not a lot of editing here, obviously. These aren't your pages. So you're not going to really do anything, but it allows you to kind of both see it together. Maybe you're sharing, maybe this is something you could use during a D&D campaign. Again, this is my example, where you might have Tabletop Simulator. You may have some other things set up where you have everything ready to go. Maybe they're player character sheets, whatever. You have them all there, and then you say invite the party to it, and they can come and they'll see all of these pages with you. So I haven't used this at all. So this is functionality I think that's coming. But I'm just saying, these are what's all there. These are, like I said, they're brand new, and you're just kind of getting used to it. But I really do like how these are set up. They are set so you can actually do a number of pretty cool things with them. For example, you can take a set of ones you want and just create a new one. Move all tabs to a new workspace. Bam, there you go, new workspace. So now you can create a new one anytime you want, and it'll show up right here. So if I say move all tabs to a new workspace, we'll call it workspace testing tab, testing workspace. Oh. If I knew how to type. You can add it to its own color, so it's got its own little look, and you say done. Now it's in its own new workspace, and there you go, testing workspace. Now I've got all kinds of, these are pretty much the same things because I had already opened the collection that had a lot of these same things in it. But ultimately, you're going to get a lot more out of this because it's easy to add stuff to it. It's easy to add new items to it. You can still have a lot of your same features. It's really just a browser that they've gone ahead and added some, what do you call it, interactivity between other people. You get a collaboration with other people. So it's got a lot of functionality for that purpose. It's got its own flaws. Okay, so one is you still don't really have an easy way. So you can do an add to tab group. See how my Dungeons and Dragons is open. These are ones that are in your setup, right? So if I close everything right now, those go away. So close all this. We'll close up everything. I'm going to show you what happens when you close everything. And then you go here, open up your testing workspace, or even this one, and you go pick up another. See, nice thing, you don't even have to have a group open. Look at that, Dungeons and Dragons. It has everything. Everything you opened up goes in there. So you can have multiple tab groups. You can have multiple pages open that aren't even in tab groups, and you can just do it to it. Now you have to add tab groups. Bam, there you go. I can add another one to Dungeons and Dragons. So, and having added Etsy to another group, it actually now exists as a thing as well. So it actually saved my tab groups. I can now use my tab group because I created a workspace that had that tab group in it. So now it is actually a permanent item in your accessibility. So if I go over here and go to testing workspace, now you see I have all my other items, and as well as you can see I have my old school workspace. So there you go. There's a pretty good set of features. A lot more going on with Workspaces, a lot more you can do. It's easy to add to. They're a lot more robust in how you can add and remove items to it, update it, tweak it, because it saves it in the state that it's in when you leave it. So that's crucial, right? So if you want to work with it, you update it, and whatever you've done to make it work or get it where it is now saved, making it a lot more functional in what you do. So of course, as you guessed, Workspaces is my favorite. It's the most robust right now. Again, you see there's some features not fully there. Obviously, they have the nice collaboration thing that they're doing, but yet you've used all your invites. I'm like, really? I've never done it before. How could have I used it? But it's coming, I'm sure. It'll all be there at some point. I'm not sure how that varies from Teams and how Teams can do stuff, but it might make it a little simpler if you don't have to have the Teams application going. I'm not sure. That's a whole nother discussion. But again, hey, if you like this kind of stuff, follow, subscribe, and give me those thumbs up. And until next time, take it easy.